Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Kiljaedas. How's it going? Another week of football, another week of the Raiders recap. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. New settings. I am back home in Alaska. So it's nice to be home and everything. I'm back down in my grandma's basement and everything. Hopefully I'll be able to go back to Japan very soon, but we'll see about that first. Anyways, let's get on to it. It is the Indianapolis Colts going against the Oakland Raiders. This is definitely a must-win for us when it comes to at least trying to get a win in our belt. But then again, within last week's transaction of Amari Cooper going to the Dallas Cowboys and stuff like that, we are now fully in rebuild mode. And that was a bitter pill to swallow. That is that indeed we are in full rebuild mode. Anyways, I just wanted this game to be competitive and everything, and it did not disappoint me at all. The final score was the Colts 42, the Raiders 28. The Colts win and everything. I am just very glad that this game was competitive. And yes, our second half woes came to us once again, with the Raiders just dropping a whole bunch of points in the fourth quarter and everything, making the Colts pull ahead and everything, and we just could not get anything going in the fourth quarter. That's a typical Raider fashion right now. So, but I needless to say though, I am glad that we had an offensive spark as well as a defensive spark after that. And it shows that hey, we can still win games and everything. Hopefully though, we can close things out. Anyways, let's just go ahead and just move on to the stats and everything. We're going to go against for team stats first. We are bringing out the old iPad for this one. So, for total yards and everything, the Raiders have 347 yards while the Colts have 461 yards. Definitely Andrew Luck was on fire today. For passing yards, the Raiders were 244 yards while the Colts were 239 yards. That's pretty even right there. Rushing yards though, Raiders 103 and Indianapolis 222. The run game was very key, and it shows that we have holes in our run game and everything. We cannot get, granted we had a couple of stops and everything, but yeah, it was definitely, if you're wanting to beat us now, it seems like you need to go ahead and get a good run game going on, because guess what? We can't get to the quarterback at all. We pressure them. Moving on though, yards per play was the Raiders 7.4, the Colts 6.5 yards per play. Fumbles lost, it was the Raiders having one fumble for a loss. Interceptions thrown were 0 for both teams. Thank you, Carr, for not throwing any interceptions. Time of possession was the Raiders 23 minutes and 30 seconds while the Colts had it for 30 minutes and 30 seconds and everything. It definitely seemed like, especially since I had to listen to the radio because they won't show the damn game on cable, that it seemed like we were having long drives and everything, but apparently it wasn't that so. But then again, the Indianapolis Colts had more drives than us because we just kept getting 3 and outs and stuff like that. Moving on though, the penalties, it was equal 10 and 10 penalties and everything. And I tell you what, there was that one penalty that I was all up in arms about. I didn't see the penalty exactly, but I know I was getting a slew of texts from one of my buddies that is also a Raider fan and saying that there was not a penalty and it was a unnecessary roughness penalty and everything. I'll have to take a look at it later on. But needless to say, let's go ahead and move on to the individual stats and everything. Derek Carr, 21 for 28, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns. Good game, Derek Carr. It's too bad we could not convert anything in the fourth quarter, but still, it's a very good game for Derek Carr. I'm very proud of him on this game. Anyways, for rushing, it is Doug Martin, 13 attempts for 72 yards, 5.0 yard average. Jim Richard, 2 carries, 14 yards, 7-yard average. Dwayne Harris, 1 rush, 13 yards, 13-yard average. DeAndre Washington, 1 rush, 4 yards, 4-yard average. I forgot that he was even on the team. And then Derek Carr, 2 rushes for 0 yards, but he did have 1 touchdown. Good job, Derek Carr. And let's go ahead and move on to the receiving. We got Jared Cook, 4 receptions for 74 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Richard, 8 receptions for 50 yards, no touchdowns. Seth Roberts, 2 receptions for 42 yards, 1 touchdown. Brendan LaFell, 3 receptions, 39 yards, 1 touchdown. Doug Martin, 2 receptions, 17 yards. Jordy Nelson, 1 reception, 14 yards. And then Keith Smith, 1 reception, 8 yards. For fumbles and everything, it was Doug Martin that fumbled the ball, and he lost it. There were no forced fumbles at all for us, and there were no interceptions, of course. So let's move on to defensive stats. It was Tahir Whitehead for 2 tackles for losses, but 0 sacks for us. Again, we just cannot get to the quarterback. We don't have any pass rushing game whatsoever. That sucks. I hope, though, that those first-round draft picks that we've been accruing, and hopefully a couple of them are at least going to go into some defensive talent that can actually rush the damn passer. Because, that's the thing. Today's game, you have to have some pressure at the quarterback, because there's these quarterbacks that if you give them all the time in the world, just like Andrew Luck, they're going to be able to do some huge damage. And let's go ahead and let's move on to kicking. And so we got the kicking for Johnny Townsend. For punting, it was 2 punts for average of 40 yards. None of them inside the 20, motherfucker. And oh, by the way, here's kicking for Daniel Carlson. No field goals, but he was 4 for 4 for extra points. Welcome to the team, Daniel Carlson. It's too bad you guys decided to get a freaking new kicker, but guess what? Not a new punter. I mean, seriously, you could have gotten a new punter. Johnny Townsend, or whatever is... Yeah, Johnny Townsend is freaking not doing any good. Oh, but anyways, let's go ahead and go with kickoff returns. Dwayne Harris, 1 return for 28 yards. And then Dwayne Harris returned a punt for -1 yards and everything. And that is it for the stats and whatnot. I'm just glad that this was a competitive game and everything. Yeah, there was a point at which I thought, holy crap, we might actually be able to win it. But it all went away in the 4th quarter. Well, the bright side is simply that we did some good things in the offensive front. So that's all I can think about, at least when it comes to that. And yeah, I don't got anything else really to say and everything. It is definitely nice to be back at home in Alaska. It's snowing outside, so it's actually also a nice way of saying welcome home and everything. So anyways, yeah, if you were at the game, let me know and everything, and give me a comment down below if I didn't get any comments and stuff like that, because there's no one really watching my videos. And yeah, as you see, I'm wearing my Raiders sweatshirt and everything. I'm about to go out and everything and meet up with some family members and everything that I have not seen yet. So anyways, if you like the video, please give a like, and by all means everyone, please tell your friends about me. See you later. Bye.